Alright, today we're going to start talking about least common multiple. This is kind of like the GCF, it's a very similar process, only there's a little bit of difference at the end. So, once again, starting with a few vocab words. First one is multiple. It's the product of the number and any whole number. So, when you multiply two numbers together, such as 4 and 2, and you get 8, 8 would be your multiple. So, it's the answer of your multiplication problem. Common multiples, multiples that are shared by two or more numbers. So if we have 2 and 4, and we list out all the multiples, the ones that are in both are their common multiples. And then finally, we have least common multiple. It is the least or smallest of the common multiples of two or more numbers. So once again, with 2 and 4, we have the common multiples of 4 and 8. The smallest one, which is 4, is going to be your least common multiple. Alright, once again, just like with GCF, there are two different methods that we use to get it. It's the factor tree and step division. So if we were given the numbers 4 and 7, we would factor them out. 4 factors out to 2 and 2. They're both primes, so we circle them. 7 is already a prime, so we can just circle it and we know we're done. Now, what we do is we look for our matches. So I have 2's here and a 7 here. There are no matches. But here's the difference between GCF and LCM. You take your matches and anything that does not have a match. So in this case, since we have no matches, we bring down all the other numbers. So we're going to bring down the 2, and the 7, and we multiply them together. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 7 is 28. So the least common multiple of 4 and 7 is 28. Now, if we're using three numbers, it's the same thing. Factor out our 4, we get 2 and 2. They're both prime, so we circle them. 5 is prime, so we circle it, and we're done. 10 factors out to 2 and 5. They're both prime, so we circle them. Now, first thing you do is look for a match in all three numbers, just like with GCF. So, I have 2's, a 5, and then a 2 and 5. So I have no matches in all three. The second thing you do is look for matches between two numbers. So, I have a 2 here, and a 2 here, that counts as a match, and I bring it down. I have a 5 here and a 5 here, that also counts as a match, so I bring it down. And then you bring down any numbers that don't match. So I have this 2 left, so I bring it down as well. Then I multiply them together. 2 times 5 is 10, times 2 is 20. So 4, 5, and 10 have an LCM of 20. Now, same numbers, but let's do it with the step division method. So if we have 4, we start with our lowest prime number, which is 2. 2 goes into 4 twice. Those are both primes, so we circle them. For 6, we start with 2 as well. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 3 and 2 are both primes, so we circle them. Now we find our matches. I have a 2 here and a 2 here. That's a 2 in common. I have nothing else in common, so I bring down both of what don't match. So now I have 2 times 2, which is 4, times 3, which is 12. So the GCF of 4 and 6, LCM of 4 and 6 is 12. For three numbers, we have 4, 2 goes into 4 twice. They're both prime, we circle them. 5 is already prime, so we circle it and move on. 10, we start with 2, goes in 5 times. They're both prime, so we circle them. Start looking for matches in all three. I have 2's, a 5, and a 2 and a 5, so I have no matches in all three. So then I look for matches in two numbers. I have a 2 here and a 2 here, so that's a match. I have a 5 here and a 5 here, that's a match. Now I take down any non-matching number. So I have a 2 left, so I bring it down. 2 times 5 is 10, times 2 is 20, so the LCM for 4, 5, and 10 is 20. Let's do a practice problem together. So let's work out 9 and 6. First thing we're going to do is factor tree, and then we'll do step division. So if I'm factoring out 9, what two numbers multiply to 9? Good. Are either of those prime? Good, they both are, so we're circling. What two numbers multiply to 6? Good. Are they prime? Yes, they are. So, I find matches in both numbers. So, if we look, I have a 3 here and a 3 here. That's a 3 in common. I have nothing else in common, so I look at the numbers that I have left, and I bring them both over. And I multiply them together. So 3 times 3 is 9, times 2 is 18. So my LCM of 9 and 6 is 18. If we do step division, lowest prime number that goes into 9 is, good, and it goes in, good. They are both prime, we circle them. 6, the lowest prime number, it goes in, and we circle them. Okay, and then once again, I look for my matches. I have a 3 here and a 3 here, that's a 3 in common. Nothing else in common, but I take my 2 that do not match, and I take them over as well. 3 times 3 is 9, times 2 is 18. Okay? Now, let's try another one. Let's do 4 and 14. This time I want you guys to work it out, and then we'll talk about it together.